Alrighty, we are live. Welcome back to another live severe weather coverage stream. We have a pretty significant day of severe weather ahead of us. We have a slight level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. We are getting already lots of storms producing damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, but we have a, once again, pretty significant day of severe weather ahead of us. Davis Weather, my good friend, he's getting hit by a significant thunderstorm. Currently, I believe, does have a special weather statement, or at least used to have one here on I-70 in south central Illinois. You can see since then the rain has gotten a little bit less heavier, but really over the past couple of scans, we have been talking about potentially impressive rainfall. I mean, look at that band of rain that went right through Greenup, Casey, and Martinsville there. We are getting, again, lots of videos of some extremely heavy rainfall there. So again, definitely something that you want to make sure you are, keeping in the back of your mind, just that you are staying safe if you are getting impacted by those storms. But we do currently have a severe thunderstorm warning north of Springfield, Missouri, currently including Ash Grove, Willard, and Pleasant Hope for 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a possible tornado and some small hail. So if you had any rotation, it would be right here near Cave Spring. Nothing too crazy, nothing that deserves a tornado warning. Let me get all that off your screen, and then I'll show you guys what we're talking about. So this is the couple that we're watching, about to move into the Ebenezer and Allsup area. Did they really mark a gas station on here as a town? That's crazy. Above me, John McKinney, he's currently actually in this severe thunderstorm warning. He's getting rocked by those winds. So if you want to know what that storm looks like from the surface, that's what you're talking about. You can see, I believe these are your outflow dominant winds. Let me see. Or no, these are your inflow winds going into the storm here, that are feeding into the storm. That's what he's being impacted by. If we could see enough outflow match that, we'll start to see something potentially try to spin up. You can actually see we do have a hook echo developing. It's very tiny, but you can see it. Or he's actually up here in Buffalo. Okay. So he's all the way up here back into Reynolds and Buffalo, being impacted by this part of the segment. So today's event hopefully will be limited as far as strength goes. We'll go over the full breakdown here. You can turn on the SPC outlook for today. So let me see if I can do that. Severe weather. Okay, so today's day one outlook again is a slight risk, going all the way out from southern Illinois, back down through Missouri, the Ozarks, including all of Arkansas, parts of eastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, most of Mississippi, a lot of western Tennessee, and northern Louisiana. So again, very large slight risk encompassing that whole area. I believe we have around 50 million people under that slight risk, so very significant threat area there. You can see our tornado threat is at 5%, partially driving that slight risk. You can see they did cut out a little bit of western Tennessee and northern Mississippi, but most of that slight risk, including, again, the entire state of Arkansas, lots of southern Missouri, Illinois, back down into northern Louisiana and northeastern Texas. That's where you have the 2%, or excuse me, the 5% tornado threat in that red shade. Today's wind threat, it is also a 15%, including that whole slight risk area. So anywhere in this yellow shade, that's where you have a 15% chance of seeing damaging winds within 25 miles of given location. And then finally, our hail threat is also 15%, but it's back down here into our, or at least the western part of our slight risk, and that is because we're likely going to see these storms merge into a line, which will kind of cluster up and end up being a tornado and damaging wind producer. So earlier on, once those cells are at least a little bit more organized and spaced out, they will have definitely the opportunity to produce large hail. So again, that's why we only see the western half of the slight risk get included in the 15% threat for hail. Alright, so let's get to that severe thunderstorm warning here, going out for, once again, areas north of Springfield. Looks like they rewarned this storm, or maybe that was a glitch, because I believe this is the same warning that was out there, unless we got a new one, because that one flashed once we heard the sound. So I'm going to pull up Stream Chat. If anyone has any questions about their location, feel free to let me know. Again, good to see everyone in here. Make sure you like up the stream. What's up, Alex? What's up, Sandra? Are you watching the severe thunderstorm? Are you watching the thunderstorm threat early Monday in New Jersey and New York City? What are your thoughts? Convective models are trending stronger as well. I definitely do think that it's mostly going to be a squall line, but I also do think that we're going to see probably some heavy rainfall and some gusty winds, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. Welcome everyone. Please sure hit the like and subscribe button, notifications for future live streams, share with everyone on your social media. Thank you. Very well said, Sandra. But yeah, make sure you're sharing with friends and family, because again, we want to make sure that everyone out here is aware of the ongoing situation. Okay, stream looks good for the most part. Again, John continuing to get rocked by those winds out there. He is currently placed in Buffalo, Missouri. What's up, Davis? It's going well. Yeah, I wanted to hop on here. I'm going out to dinner with my friends later in the day, so I figured why not just go for a longer stream here since I'm free for most of the day until then. So obviously the tornado threat not going to peak for a while, but we did actually get that tornado watch, so we'll pull that up in a second. Let me just write this message in chat. Okay, please be sure. Alright, let me just send this message in chat real quick, and then we'll get right to it. Again, starting to pick up in activity, so obviously we'll get right to that in a second. Hold on. Okay, bang. Shebang. Okay. Alrighty. Welcome into the stream, everyone. What's up, Davis, Sanja? What's up, Alex? What's up, Henry? What's up, Western Ohio ES and Weather and Andrew? Once again, tracking this big severe weather, possible outbreak across portions of the Ozarks, the Ozark Mountains, and into the southern plains. Again, we're talking about a possible significant tornado threat. We have a sneaky 5%, including a pretty large area, so we'll see how that performs. Again, it's kind of a boom or bust scenario, obviously with the very messy storm mode that could limit just the sheer amount of tornadoes we get. I believe this is an old report. Measured nearly 2 inches of rain just under an hour in Illinois. Wow, okay, so we talked about that earlier in the stream, how Davis was out here around I-70 at least, getting hit by that significant round of heavy thunderstorms there, producing gusty winds. Since then, the line has continued to move out off to the southeast towards portions of southern Indiana, towards Bloomington, Bedford, as well as the Evansville and Sullivan area. So if you do find yourself living in those areas, make sure you're preparing for that heavy thunderstorm to move through. But again, rainfall rates of 2 inches per hour plus, which is very significant. I believe you did send me that video of the rain coming through the walls of whatever place you're at. I don't know if it was a restaurant or whatever, but basically what we're trying to say here is that we are talking about extremely heavy rainfall, which there could be also some instances of small hail mixed in here. Again, south of I-70 in Illinois, currently moving into southern Indiana right now. So, again, a lot of activity picking up here. I would not be shocked if we do get a couple of flash flood warnings throughout these areas. Because, again, that is going to be a nuisance for these roadways. Again, those drains are going to get overwhelmed pretty easily if we do see rain actually to that extent. And we still are talking about heavy rain all the way down here into Missouri here, Buffalo, Missouri. This is where John McKinney is currently above my head. He is getting pretty intense rainfall there with also some gusty winds, so make sure to go hit that subscribe button so we can get this stream, also hit the like button so we can get the stream to 10 likes, and I'd say our goal for today could be 30 likes, 50 likes maybe, but also go subscribe to John's channel, because he's going to be doing a great job out there, you know, chasing the storm. Oh, wow. Okay, so let me see if I can pull this up on stream somehow. I'm gonna try. But, Davis sent me a picture of a shelf cloud. Let me see. I think I can email this to myself. Again, this is from that line that is currently moving down into Indiana, southern Indiana to be exact. Alright, let me see if I can pull this up. Okay. Again, things starting out pretty tame here, other than obviously that very heavy rainfall and also some gustier winds. But things will start to pick up in activity very quickly. Again, with that sneaky 5% tornado threat in place. Let's see here. Gotta do the whole verification thing to pull up this photo. Okay, that should work. There we go. Okay, so let's pull this up here. This was the shelf cloud that rolled through portions of southern Illinois. Obviously, you can see some really beautiful structure with that, but that is what the storm looks like, at least part of the line here. That is at this point likely moving into portions of Indiana. So, pretty wild structure there, but that is from Jackson Becker. All credit to him. Measured a 47-mile-per-hour wind gust. Wow. So, also some very gusty winds near. I mean, we're getting into the tropical storm force kind of range there, but some instances of near severe force winds are definitely possible. Severe thunderstorm warning down here in just south of Fort Worth, Texas, for Burleson and Joshua, Texas. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds expected. So make sure you're getting yourselves indoors and away from windows if you're included in that warning. I'm in serious need of a phone charger, but there isn't one down here. I'll get it later though. But yeah, we do have a tornado watch also in effect, so we can actually pull that up here. Again, still watching this storm north of Springfield with the tornado possible tag. Nothing crazy, barely any rotation, but there definitely is something trying to get going there near Willard, Ebenezer, and Guildwell. Yeah, I mean, you can still kind of see some of that inflow. Again, trying to spin something up. Again, it's really it's unorganized, but it's definitely trying. So nothing close to deserving a tornado warning, but yeah. Okay, let me see NWS tornado. Alrighty, so this is the tornado watch that was issued today for portions of southwestern Arkansas, extreme southeast Oklahoma, northwest Louisiana, and portions of northeast Texas. This is going out for all these areas until 9 p.m. Central tonight. So again, that's 9 Central, 10 Eastern. So it's going to go into the late night hours, but isolated hail up to ping pong ball size possible, a couple tornadoes possible, and scattered wind gusts of up to 75 miles per hour possible. So again, that is going to go out for those hardest hit areas that at least we're expecting to see throughout today. So yeah. But we already are starting to get some of those cells to develop out there into portions of northeast Texas. Again, we're watching these cells down here to end up producing tornadoes, and we'll still likely see some more cells develop as the day continues on. But it's good to see everyone in here today. Again, if you have any questions about your location, feel free to let me know. Starting to see some heavy rain moving into the Greenvale and Sulphur Springs area. So we'll continue to watch how that storm progresses. Again, really a lot of activity developing in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro, but nothing severe other than that one cell south of Fort Worth at the moment. So it looks like John McKinney's still getting some gusty winds and heavy rainfall there. Located in Buffalo, Missouri. Looks like he was traveling up Highway 65 for a little while there. And there's a few more chasers actually around here. But I believe he's the only one that's currently got their cam on. Still watch these storms as they move into portions of southern Illinois and Indiana. Again, this is where Davis got that very heavy rain with rates of up to 2 inches per hour, and also wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. So, still hanging on to, again, 60 dBZs there, which is indicative of some very heavy rain. And we do even have an outflow boundary ahead of these storms, so kind of just shows a signature of obviously those gustier winds. So make sure that if you're in the Princeton or Evansville, Boonville, Jasper, Washington, or Sullivan area, that you're getting ready. I mean, I guess Sullivan, you guys are getting hit now, but I mean, this line could definitely pack a bunch. Do I have flash flood warnings on? I don't think I do. Let me just make sure I do. Let's see. I do not. Or no, I do. Sorry about that. So they haven't issued one yet. But we likely will see a flash flood warning get issued, at least for a couple counties here and there. So, welcome to the stream, everyone. And if you have any questions about your location, obviously feel free to let me know. Earlier today, this was about an hour ago, we had a 60 mile per hour wind gust report 2 miles north of Sallisaw, Oklahoma, from a storm chaser here. Storm chaser on the north side of Sallisaw reported a power flash and brief loss of power. Also estimated thunderstorm gusts of 58 to 60 miles per hour. So, this storm is already capable of producing power outages, and again, it's at this point moving into portions of central Arkansas. So, Little Rock, Hot Springs, Conway, and Russellville, you guys are up next. Again, it looks like this line is starting to intensify rather rapidly. Okay, I'm gonna go get a charger for my phone, so I'll be right back. But I will keep the radar up there, and I will be back momentarily. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. Just needed to grab a charger as well as a quick drink. A seltzer, to be specific. Alright. So again, as of right now, we're just kind of watching as the day begins. Just seeing how everything is setting up. Again, pretty much right around expected. We do have a couple of prefrontal cells developing near hot springs. So we'll see what happens with those. Yeah. Make sure to stream to Discord here so that we can get a couple more people in here, just so we can make sure everyone knows we're live. Again, going back to our severe thunderstorm warning north of Springfield, still does have the tornado possible tag on. It's for this part of the storm here, approaching Fairgrove and Hickory Barren, but it is just struggling to rotate. Really nothing much showing up there. Alright. Welcome back, Henry. Again, still watching for these storms to develop. It does look like we are starting to see these winds pick up in our northwest Arkansas kind of quadrant of the slight risk. So definitely some gustier storms possible through there. The strongest storm we have right now seems to be this one down here near Burleson, Texas. This is completely outflow dominant, but this is approaching Mansfield and Lillian. Again, it looks like we could have some instances of some gusty to damaging winds here. Again, the storm's warned for 60, but definitely some gusty winds possible with that. And our line in Arkansas right now does have a history of knocking out power, producing power flashes. As we did get that 60-mile-per-hour wind report from a storm chaser just a couple miles to the northwest of Fort Smith. So, again, this is the line we need to watch out for, and embedded tornadoes are going to be possible within this line. So just because we don't have a completely, discrete storm mode, that does not mean that we're not going to have the chance to see tornadoes. In fact, we have some rotation developing near Blue Ball, Arkansas. Again, this is pretty tight, but it's not too strong. Looks like this was developing over the last couple of minutes. Let me see if I can get my scans to work. There we go. Yeah, so this has really picked up over the past couple of scans. But we do have some rotation developing out here, so no tornado warning expected, obviously, but just make sure that you are watching that carefully. So we'll likely have to stay on this storm for a while, just as this is kind of the part of the line that seems most likely to produce tornado, if any, right now. No CC drop, obviously, so again, that is nothing too crazy, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Other than that, our storms look pretty disorganized at the very moment, so we'll obviously just be on standby here, just in case anything decides to spin up. Dude, that is so weird. The radar rings are not working. Alright. At this point, we have 7 special weather statements and only 1 severe warning, so that severe thunderstorm warning north of Springfield has now expired there. And they likely will not reissue it, just considering that these storms are looking very weak at the moment. But I do think that they're down the line there's definitely going to be potential to see some of these storms produce wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. I mean, for instance, the storm down here, or the part of the line, I should say, near Diggins and Seymour, is looking like it's producing some gustier winds there. Estimated by radar to be around 50 plus miles per hour, so we'll watch that. What's up, Peachy? Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, I mean, that's what we got, but basically this entire part of the line for southwestern Missouri is currently under a special weather statement. Okay, new severe thunderstorm warning. There we go. That is the exact same part of the line we were just pointing out there, so they did decide to issue that 60 mile per hour wind severe thunderstorm warning there, so once again, 60 mile per hour winds and small hail expected. So, looks like they still do think this is producing 60 mile per hour winds. Again, mainly just for this part of the line that looks most organized that we just pointed out. Again, approaching Seymour, Hartville, Ava, and Norwood. If you are in any of these areas, make sure you are obviously getting indoors and away from windows. We did just get another severe thunderstorm warning. Let's take a look at where that is. That is going to be all the way down here into eastern Texas. One of our more discreet supercells here near Gallatin and Rusk, Texas. This is going to be for quarter-size hail and 60 mile per hour winds. Get indoors and away from windows. Again, look at all of these prefrontal cells that are popping up here. That is a lot. I mean, when you talk about a wide open warm sector like that, obviously you're going to get a lot of cells to develop. And even out here into Arkansas, again, these cells, very unorganized, but because you have so many developing, all of these are going to have the potential to produce tornadoes due to the fact that our environment is favorable of significant growth in those storms and obviously just the development of them, but also it is a very high sheared environment, so our wind profiles are favorable for these storms to at least have the chance to produce tornadoes over the next couple of hours. So yeah, I mean, that's the current picture that we got right now. Again, nothing else to really point out specifically other than just what we got at the moment. So yeah. We did just get another severe thunderstorm warning. These are going to start getting handed out left and right. But this is going out for areas south of Chester, St. Mary, and Rockwood, out here near McBride, Lithium, and Sereno, Missouri. Quarter-size hail and 60 mile per hour winds expected. That is also a pretty significant storm that is just now popping up here. That quickly did shoot up in DBZ values. Wow, 65 DBZs. So some small hail is certainly possible with this storm. Again, look at all these storms that are kind of clustering up out here. These are going to have the potential to produce some small hail, but also some gusty winds. So again, it's these cells developing out here into southern Arkansas that are expected to have the best shot at producing tornadoes. And as expected, they obviously have developed now. Alright. So these storms are going to be moving generally northeast here over the next couple of hours. So again, as they move into the slightly more favorable environment, these are really going to start to increase in intensity. And I will say, just based off of the look at where they're developing and how quickly, I do think that there will likely be a legit tornado threat. Because a lot of people are still trying to figure out to kind of determine if this is going to be a bust or if this is actually going to have a shot at developing into a real event. And I do think so. And it's going to be these storms back here in Longview and Palestine, Texas. It's these two little clusters here that I think are going to have the best shot at producing likely all hazards, but specifically tornadoes, again, as they move into portions of northwestern Louisiana and southwestern Arkansas. What's up, Arcs? Cell near Gallatin, Texas could do something. I believe we just looked at that one. That is the one that just got severe warned. Again, this severe warning is out for the next hour and 1 minute. But if we look at velocities, there's actually, there's some rotation developing. It's a very weak and very small, tight rotation. But there's a tiny couplet here near Ponta and Elm Grove, approaching Fairview, and New Salem. So we'll have to continue to watch how that progresses. Again, nothing to, be concerned about at the moment, but I do think that is something we need to watch over the next couple of minutes here. Just see how that obviously continues to progress as it moves off to the northwest. So the farther north these storms get, the more sheer environment they're going to move into. Obviously, more favorable for tornadoes, but it all depends on, how far upscale they develop, meaning how strong they're going to get. Because obviously you can't have, a tornado event or, let's say, tornado outbreak with, weaker cells. I mean, that you just can't have that, so. I mean, these are all just developing now, but there's lots of them. And that's for sure. Lots of blips, if I want to put it that way. But this one is currently trying to rotate pretty early on. Next scan kind of killed it here, and I mean, that's why we can't really say that this is concerning rotation, because again, nothing is imminent with this. I mean, it really just popped up. I mean, yeah, we got a couple scans where this thing looked like it was trying to do something, but latest scan really killed it here. So, I mean, it could bounce back. But, again, this storm is very young, so just developed, just got severe warned, so there's a lot headed for it. But, like I said earlier, it's these two clusters that we're watching for tornadoes down the line. But I'd say that it really looks like northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas are going to be the areas to watch for actual tornadoes. So really from Pine Bluff to areas south of Monroe and Shreveport is where I'd be most concerned for tornadoes. I think northeast Texas, we're still waiting on these cells to develop. If they develop a little bit faster, or we do see more cells develop back here into portions of like College Station, Woodlands kind of region there, we could still see a couple tornadoes. But I really do think just with kind of where these storms are developing and how slow they're taking, I do think that there should be a pretty minimal tornado threat for that area. And again, that's for just the current watch area. We still have the potential to see embedded tornadoes within our lines out here, all the way up through Illinois and Missouri, back into portions of Tennessee. So you just got to keep in mind that this entire area here is under a 5% tornado threat, but the tornado watch that's currently in effect is currently going out for parts of northeast Texas, southwest Arkansas, northwest Louisiana, and extreme southeastern Oklahoma. So really the cutoff line here is right about here. Again, this is mostly slop, or just really unorganized crap vection, if you want to put it that way. And these are your nice, organized, and developing supercells that are, again, progressing to the north. So that's how we're going to be kind of dividing things by now. So if you see these much smaller cells, these tiny cells that are kind of hard to pick out here, but there's a lot of them. Okay, these are the cells to watch. Up here, this is where we're not going to see much, because this is where it's kind of just a rainy mess, where we get lots of wind, rain, and lightning. That's really all we see with those. But this is where we can see, obviously, tornadoes and even some damaging large hail, given the storm that we have down here into Gallatin, Texas, that we did point out earlier. Again, just got severe warned and already did try to pop off some rotations. Since then has decreased significantly. So yeah, that's 2 scans in a row where we really see that rotation kind of just die off there. Let me look at surface analysis here just to check in on our environment. Again, see how we're doing with this. Let's see. Mesoanalysis. Okay. So our violent tornado parameter is very low, obviously. And that's just something we use when we think a strong tornado could be imminent. But if we just look at our bulk shear, yeah, I mean, our surface to 8 kilometer shear is at 60 knots right now in southern Arkansas. So again, that's where I'm most worried. I think southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana especially, just because that's when these cells are going to likely hit their peak in intensity, but also at the same time they're going to start rotating as they move into a much more sheared environment. So yeah. Cape Valleys right now are already up into well into the 2000s, so I mean obviously thermodynamics are not a problem at the moment. Let's look at our dew points here. Again, not really worried about, yeah, our dew points, wow, oh my goodness. So our dew points are actually in the upper 70s across parts of Arkansas here, so that's pretty incredible. That is a much more, overperforming environment than we expected to see. So, I mean, yeah, that's basically what we got right now. Again, this is the environment that we're looking at right now. Let me take off the radar here. Clean this up for you guys. But going back to our bulk shear, again, already at 60 knots ahead of our line and our prefrontals. So when you see 60 knots of effective layer shear, obviously that's pretty impressive. And we have these discrete cells that are popping up. So just considering that they are actually moving right into this area and, you know, they are actually developing, it gives us the idea and the potential that we could actually have a couple tornadoes out here, assuming these cells are going to continue to develop. Again, we need that increase in development and strengthening there. I think that's really the most important part with this. And they will stay semi-discrete for a little while at least, as they continue to move into a more favorable environment. But the dominant cell is out here in Gallatin, Texas. Alright. Let me get this off your screen for you. Again, if anyone has any questions about your location, feel free to let me know. But make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Also, consider donating. Donations are not required, but are greatly appreciated. We do this every day when needed for everyone across the country. And during big days when we know something obviously destructive is going to happen, all donations will go towards storm victims. Again, still watching what happens today. Hopefully we're going to see a little bit more of a tame event, just in general. I mean, obviously things are starting out pretty slow, but still have some pretty great potential as we go into the night. Again, we still are far from over with this event. Still got that tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully we could get the stream to 30 likes. See if we can do that. That'd be great. Got 8 people in here. What's up, Mr. Twister? Good to see you. Alright, so I just found out that I have to end off stream. I'm sorry for the stupid delay here and having to end off early. So I do have to go to mass, obviously, God first. But I did not think that I was gonna have to do this. So I'll hopefully be back later today. I can't say that for certain. We'll see if we have to do a second stream, but once again, I really apologize for having to end off early, but kind of an urgent schedule change. Again, if needed, I will be back later today to force you over the coverage. So I apologize for the big delay, but I will have to end off stream. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the